Today's story is called Unwanted Visitor. My parents had built their dream house in a new subdivision at the time. They had chosen a lot that did not have any neighbors yet, and the history of the place was still unknown. I remember the first day we moved into the home, something about it felt off, specifically my and my sister's room. On our first night there, I had fallen asleep on my phone and had been sleeping on the mattress on the floor since there was no bed frame yet. I was a light sleeper, so despite being asleep, I could feel like something was at my feet, as if someone was holding my ankles down. I was able to sleep through the night, but the feeling never went away even after a few days had passed. It was around 2 a.m. when I woke up, and that feeling started to creep in again. I wanted to shake the feeling off and needed confirmation that it was nothing. So I took a peek, and all I could see was what seemed like a dark figure standing in front of our window. Alarm bells were going off because our rooms were on the second floor, and there was no one else upstairs since my parents' rooms were downstairs. A few seconds later, I could hear the tapping on the window, but refused to look back. I had tried to quietly wake my sister up, but she only shifted her position and turned to the wall instead. I was too scared to get up because of the terror I felt. Instead, I inched closer to my sister and turned my back, faking being asleep despite hearing the taps. In the following nights to come, cousins or friends who would visit at our house reported hearing a woman crying and the same tapping noise I would hear whenever they slept in a room upstairs. Our rooms were often used as guest rooms, and if they were both occupied, we would sleep with my parents. My parents often laughed or shrugged it off because they didn't believe in the paranormal or the afterlife. One day, while talking to the guard on duty on our way to the jogging path, my mum mentioned we were new in the area and where we resided. By the reaction of the guard, we could tell he was familiar with where we had chosen to live. We were told that before the area was made a subdivision, there were houses in the area, but just like now, the house built on our property had been an isolated house. A mom, her husband, and their 3-year-old daughter had lived in the house. The house had caught on fire on the first floor and was on its way up when the family awoke to the smoke. Their daughter was sleeping in what is now my sister's room, while the wife and husband had slept in what was now my room. Their room door had melted shut, and the mom had used the balcony door to gain access to her 3-year-old's bedroom, but it had also been melted shut. She was attempting to save her daughter, but when she realized she couldn't open the door, she started banging on the window in the hopes of waking her up. Despite her husband's attempt to get himself and her out of the house, she refused to leave, trapping all 3 of them in the fire, which resulted in all 3 of them passing away. I couldn't help but think if the shadow tapping on the window and the sound of a woman crying was the same woman that had died in the house, who had desperately tried to save her baby, but failed. That night, as I tried to sleep, I could envision the mum wailing in front of the window frame as she banged on the glass, and these noises slowly faded to taps and weakened cries as the fires consumed her and her family. Thank you for joining me, and please feel free to give this video a like, as it would mean a great deal to me. I'll be uploading new stories 4 days a week, so subscribe to stay tuned. I'll be keeping up to date with all of the newest, most interesting stories I can find. See you soon, and remember to stay vigilant and stay safe.